So now we have started. So just to cap again, welcome everyone to this AI ML automation AI ML project. So for this session, we will be trying to do what? We will be trying to work on a project which we don't even know presently. We don't know the project we want to work on presently. We'll try to do research of different projects, select a particular project, try to get the end-to-end life cycle of what the project looks like, and from there we start what building the project all from scratch together. I've not done this before. We are doing this together. So let's as we move on, we'll be saying we'll be doing the tools, different things that we should know, different things that we should use. We'll be discussing this what we're discussing it together. Do you understand? So yes, let's get into it. First thing first, what I'll try to do is let me open my ChatGPT. I said we'll be doing AI assisted development here. We are in an era where we have AI right now, so we don't need to disturb ourselves, and then I know most of us have known the basics, so we can move on from there. So now let's just go on. So now my main guy, you can use any AI of your choice. You could use Claude, you could use Gemini, you could use, but I want to stick with ChatGPT. At some point, I will move to Claude or maybe Gemini at some point. But right now, so that's there about that. So I'll be using my text to speech most of the time. You just tell the AI what I want, and based on that, we move on. So yeah, I think I have a quick question which I want you to reply me using the not the chat on the call now, using the Telegram group. So your AI ML, is it the one that you have to like train models, or basically the one that you can just use to pre-train models like OpenAI models and some other stuffs? Please give me the answer in the chat so that I can check it through. Okay, now let me use my speech to text so that we can. Someone is typing. I'm going to a person that's typing so I can get the response and then we move on. Okay, so let me just move on. So hi, I want to work on an AI ML project, which I want it to be end to end so that I can be able to deploy it and make it readily available for users to see. So I want it to be an intermediate project, by the way. So I want you to help list 10 different projects. I would appreciate if 5 could be 10 towards African projects and some other stuff. So please help with 10 different projects that an intermediate AI ML engineer could work on. End-to-end projects, by the way. Thanks. So now I've tried to do what? I've tried to get 10 different projects which I can work on, and now let me send it. So it's going to list the project for me, and based on that, I would select one. So you can see it's telling us if your goal is to build an AI to ML, AI end-to-end AI ML project that demonstrates you can handle a complete machine learning lifecycle, data collection, processing, model training, evaluation, deployment, and monitoring, then the project should solve a real problem rather than train a model, a simple model. Since you are aiming for an intermediate level project, each project should ideally include data collection, getting data cleaning and feature engineering, model training and comparison, model evaluation, explainability of the model, REST API. You can use Fast API for that. We are even using Fast API for that. Front end, you can easily use Streamlit or React. Docker deployment, deploying using Docker. Cloud deployment, deploying using Render. So I'll say cloud deployment and CI/CD, optional but impressive. So these are the things that we're going to do for any project that we select. Now African focus project 125, loan default prediction for African fintechs. Many digital lenders struggles to determine who is likely to repay loans. Datasets, Zindi datasets, Cargo datasets, synthetic African lending datasets, futures, income, occupation, mobile money history, loan amount, previous default, employment status, models, deployments, user enter loan informations and receives this, skills demonstrated, classification, explainable AI, feature engineering, API deployments, skills, crop disease detection. So now, farmer struggles to identify disease early, data sets, plant village, cassava village, models, CNF, users upload image, output disease confidence treatment. This is a very good project, by the way, crop disease detection, but I think a number of people have done it before that I've seen before. Let's see, mobile money fraud detection, inspired by MTN Momo. This ones, they have restrictions. Now, predicting student performance, academic performance, data set, UCI student performance, futures, these are the futures. What are deployments? Dashboard interface for teachers. AI market price predictor for agricultural produce. Problem, predict prices, size, data sets, World Bank. General, let's see for general. Employee attrition prediction, house price prediction. I've done that house price prediction before. Medical insurance cost prediction, customer churn prediction, news category classification. This news category classification does make sense. I like this news category classification. I think you can also suggest the one you feel like we should work on, guys. You can also suggest the one you feel like we should work on. I like that. House price I've done before, so I think we should work on something new. And also, I think doing crop disease detection is also something that I would want to look at. So we can vote. Should we do crop disease or news classification? So, but crop disease will have to do with more of computer vision, while news classification will deal more with what natural language processing, NLP. Do you understand? So can we choose one? Just use the what do we call it? Use the group to say that, to tell us what you feel like we should use. And by the way, are we even seeing my screen? If perhaps you've mentioned something, I didn't see it. Please, can we go on? Okay, so I think let's choose crop disease detection. So now let me open my notepad. Let me open my notepad here. Notepad. So I'll be pasting something that I need here on my notepad. And please, a minute. A minute, guys. So I'm just copying something. So since we're aiming at this, this is what we are trying to do. So now I would give this to my AI and then we use it to scaffold the project. Now we use it to scaffold the project. First thing, we'll try to get our data set. We have to get our data set, crop disease detection data set. Now our first thing first, I would like to create on my root folder. I would create what? I would create a new folder here. New folder here. Okay, yes, so you could see what I've done so far. I'm just trying to create a new, my folder. So now I have the folder where I'll be working on this project with. So this is where I'm working on this project with now. So I hope everyone, we have VS Code installed and then we have some AI capabilities installed. So basically, I could say we should directly work with AI from VS Code, but it would take a very much more, it would become very much more complicated. So I don't know. Let's So let me open my terminal here. So I'm trying to open my VS Code now. So this VS Code now would open for me, it will open inside my folder. Now I'm having this inside my own folder. So you can see now, I can create different files, different, what do you call it? Different files, different MD and some other stuff. You can have it here right now. Now what I'm not trying to explain to us is we can use our AI inside our web browser. So you have to like keep moving back and forth, copying and pasting, each from our browser to our what to our terminal to our IDE. IDE is what? Integrated Development Environment. But we could open a what? We could open a new what? We could open our, what do you call it here? Our chat. Where's our chat here? It's still coming up. So we can use our AI directly inside of this place. We can use our AI directly inside this place instead of stressing ourselves to go into the web and doing that. Do you understand? And can I move on? Do you want to know that? Can I move on? I don't know if you understand. Is it making sense? Am I not too fast? Am I not too slow? Are we getting it? Mr. Yomide, do you understand me? Mr. Oladimiji, do you understand? So
Yes.
we've not even started. What do you say? Do you understand, Mr. Yomide?
I do understand.
Okay. Am I too slow for you? You guys have passed this place. Okay. So now let's move on. Now the tools that we will be using, for our tools. The tools that we're going to be using here. Tools we want to be using what? Tools, VS Code for development, GitHub for what? For version control system, Git and GitHub, Git and GitHub, Git and GitHub, render for deployment, render for deploying, Postman for testing, Postman for testing. What else do we need? Python for development, Python fast API. We want to use for the front end. We want to use. Let's just use simple React. Simple React. What else do we need? You can also suggest. So testing. Yeah. So these are our tools that we are going to be using. So now I'll just use with the assistance of my AI. I'll do what? I'll tell it. Okay. So for these now, give us the end-to-end steps to like work on our project. So we have something that we want to do right now. So let me come to my AI right here. I would create a new tab. Let me create a new one. So this is new. So okay. Now I'll copy this in. Let me just use my text to speech first. Hi. So regarding the project topic above and the steps, I want you to help with a detailed end-to-end step to get the data. If you could provide links to get it, and also till deployment. For deployment, we want to use render and then want to make it perfect. So help with the end-to-end steps so that we can move on with this. Thank you very much. Okay, so I've done that. Now I'll just add it to my what? Add it to my, yeah, and then I'll copy all this and I'll use it in my AI. I would prefer more to use it what? To use it directly on VS Code because it makes my development much more faster. It makes my development much more faster. But for us that might not know how to set up this, or we have not set it up before, so let's just take it end to end. Let's take it one by one. Okay, I missed something. I missed something very, very important. I want to say note, help with project scaffolding. When I say project scaffolding, it just means creating of different files, and then their, what do we call it? Different files and their folders and their. So that is that about that. So sorry, I just have to pause for a while. So I think we all got it. We all got it, and then we can move on from it. So yes, that's it. So now I'll just paste it down. We want to use help with project scaffolding and also what? And also now project dependencies management. Now I don't want to use, there is pip, there is some, but I don't want to use pip. I don't want to use that. I want to use UV. So Python, I would select either Python poetry or UV. But I think, let me select, I think I've used UV before. Let us just use UV. So UV is a library that handles project dependencies management. So similar to Python poetry. You understand? So also for dependencies management, dependencies management, I would like to use Python UV. Did I use UV or poetry? I think I've used poetry a number of times, but yeah, UV. Let's use UV. So these guys would handle they would easily handle conflicts and different stuffs in our libraries, so that we don't get conflicts different times. So they will handle it for us. So now um, I'll remove this intermediate equation. Good. Yeah, um, cloud deployment. When you say cloud deployment, Docker, I don't want to use Docker deployment by the way. I want to use cloud deployment directly. Using it, I don't use Docker. So CI/CD, I don't want CI/CD pipeline right now. I think this is much more okay. Yeah. So I'll just copy this in. I'll paste. I'm not even writing a single line of code. I'm just trying to get how this would work best rather than jumping into writing of codes. Do you understand? So yes, I have this. Now let me try to use another model. Instant models. I think I can work with instant also. Let me click on enter. So now it starts working for me. It starts working on my behalf now. So these are excellent intermediate to advanced portfolio project because it demonstrates almost every skill employer looks for: computer vision, deep learning, API development, front end, ML ops, Git and GitHub deployment. Now, first thing first is telling us the project architecture, how our project should look like, how the architecture of our project should look like. Now, crop this system, it has a front end. The front end starts as where user interact with. From the front end, they are able to upload a leaf. Now, when they upload this finish, it goes to the back end, fast API, image validation. It validates, okay, is this a leaf? Perhaps somebody is sending in a what? Is sending in a the picture of an horse and say, okay, how does no, I don't want to use this. This doesn't work. You understand? Now, image processing, it processes the image, it loads the image, predicts and explain. Now it gives recommendation, treatment and recommendations. Now the deep learning models, efficient net B0 and CNN baseline model, saved model as does PTH, data sets and our render deployment. Now our tech stack. This is our tech stack. This. ML, these are Python. We're using all this for Python. ML, we're using PyTorch or TensorFlow. I think PyTorch. Okay, let's go with PyTorch. Front end. I don't really care about the front end, by the way. I'm not a front end developer, so I'll just work with what it gives me. Now, deployment, render. We're using render for deployment, backend render, front end static render, version control, Git and GitHub. Now, for our dependencies, we're doing what we're using UV for our dependencies. Now, first thing first, step one, we should create a repository, which I would just do right now. Okay, rather than even doing, yeah, I'll create a repository. Do you all have GitHub? I think we should all have GitHub. So I'll go to my GitHub, this is my GitHub profile. This is my GitHub profile. I'll try to create a new project named this guy now. Let's create a new project named this guy. So create a new repository. Let me just come here. Repositories. Perhaps this is taking time. Okay, so the name of my repository, I will say this should be the name, the description. Now, I want to have a description. Does this mention anything for me? I would say, I would give it a description. I want a description so that because I want to make this well documented. I would say, where is this guy? Where is he? Who says this? A description for, I'll just say a description for project 2. A description for project 2, please. I'll give it less than 300 words. So yeah. So to get the description that I would use with my GitHub. Now, visibility, I want it to be public. Should it add a readme to it? Yes, add a readme to it. Add a git ignore to it. Yes, add a git ignore. I'm using Python. So you should add the git ignore for Python. Now, license, I'll just choose MIT license. I'll choose the MIT license. Do you understand? So, I'm not too fast and I'm not too slow. So, this project is an end-to-end powered web. I hope this is not too much. At least to make our projects well documented. So now let me paste. I hope this is not even more than 300. I know it's more than I know it's more than 300. So very quick AI. Let's say the most summarize this less than 300. I'll open a new chart. I'll summarize it. I told it less than 300 words. You see, it's more than 300 words. Okay. So once you have all these planned very well, let me say 200 now. Than 200 words. And yeah, thank God we now in the era. This is even more than 200. This is more than 200 words. This is more than 200 words. What's fake is this guy thing? I know it's more than 200 words. I'll just copy the first aspect. I just stupid. Oh, there are some things that I would miss. In one paragraph, please. In one paragraph, yeah. One paragraph would be less than 200 words. Let me say 50. So I have this guy now. Really contribute. You can see 350 exactly. When I mentioned 50. So we have this now. We have this now. And then I'll create my repository. So now I have my what? My GitHub repo where I can store this, where you can see it even comes with a number of files. The git ignore, the license, the readme. Makes sense. Makes sense. Now the readme later, we're modifying the readme later to be more extensive. The readme later, we're modifying it to be more extensive. So what I'll do now is I'll try to clone the environment into my folder. So let me open my terminal now. So now this one that I've created before, I would have to discard it now since I'm opening. So I'll say git clone. You know, I've copied the URL here. I've copied the URL and I have access to it. Basically for myself. I have access to it. I'll say git clone. I'll paste the URL, enter. So now it will bring that repo, it will bring it as a file on my PC now. So now, once I come here, you can see this is my crop disease detection. Now I'll discard this. First thing first, let me first close these guys. Let's see. Close. I'll close this guy too. And I'll delete this guy. Let's create this. Let's open this now. And I'm working inside of this. I'll say CMD. I like opening my terminal using this aspects, rather than using terminal rather than opening it manually. I love doing that most times. And are you still with me? Am I not getting you bored? I hope you're still with me. Let's just continue. So now we have these already. Now these are our files already that we want to use. We'll move on. So now let's come back to our steps mentioned by this guy, git scope, clone, just do all those other stuff. Now, project structure. Now, project structure. Um, this project structure, it wants to create these files here: backend, front end, notebooks, docs. It wants all those files. So I'll just say all those folders. So I'll just do them one by one. I think to do that very fast, I'll have to like share my screen right here. Create new folder. I'll name it what? Backend. A new folder named what? Backend. And this could be done automatically for me if I'm using what do you call it? If I'm using um the AI in the IDE directly rather than doing it manually. So I could do it more faster with a lot of more things. So front end models, data. That's where we get our data set and put it there. So we're having different folders now. Notebooks. This is where we write our notebooks, where we try to train the model. Notebook. Now docs. So you can see this is what you have. Now for git ignore readme, you can see we have them before. So let's just move on. Now we have to what? We have to like initialize UV. So first thing I think we first have to do install UV. Now I'll come up with my words with my terminal. Okay. I'll bring my terminal up. Yes, trust and continue this folder. So let me say CLS enter this PowerShell. So UV, let me see if UV is installed initially. If I do have UV, let me know. Let me say UV underscore UV underscore version. Okay, I have UV installed. You can see I have UV installed. So good. You can use that to check if you have UV installed. Now let us now move on to what? The aspect where I have to initialize. So UV would be used in my backend. So I have to like navigate to my backend, cd backend, and I'll say UV underscore UV init. So that means initialize UV. It will now initialize UV inside what? Inside this my backend folder. So I'll click on enter. You can see it's now telling me it has initialized UV inside my what? Inside my backend folder. So as I can see, we have Python version 3.14 main.py project.toml. So we're going to use our project. So it has a readme for us. It created this all on its own. All on its own. You understand? So now let us move on. This creates project look. Now install dependencies. So now we'll copy all this and we'll do what? We'll copy all this and we should add it to our project dot. I think just instead of doing this directly, we should have to run all this inside our terminal. Instead of doing that, I'll copy this. I have my Gemini here, so I'll use my Gemini. So I don't want to. We have to. If you are using this directly, we have to keep running these guys one by one. This I would run it first. I would run it second, but I don't want to do that. I want to have a requirement.txt where it takes it automatically, or perhaps we just have it in this project.tom here. So we can have the dependencies here and then it keeps doing its thing on its own. So let me say there's my AI Studio, Google AI Studio. can see I'm just leveraging AI to assist me while I'm programming. So say, how can I add this to project.tml, type project by the type project.tml, or requirement.txt. So I can install all at once without having to run one by one. One by one. So now I'll use this, and this will give me the steps that I can do thinking. They are giving me two different responses. What is it saying? So UV add, paste all package inside this. You can pass multiple packages into it and write themselves. You have and have UV process them at once. Method one, pass the package inside a single UV add. UV automatically creates an update for parameter. Okay. So you say first from you can put inside and say UV add requirement.txt. I think I would want to use this UV add requirement.txt so that I can know what I have in my requirement.txt, and then I can read them perfectly. So let me create a new folder here, a new file here. I will say requirements.txt. Perhaps if someone else is coming in and they don't want to even use UV, they don't want to use UV, they want to use PIP, or they want to use poetry, they can easily get it and be able to use it. Now I'll now come in here. I've added all the libraries and frameworks. I've added them to requirement.txt. Now I'll now use this UV add requirement.txt to run all of them, and it would work perfectly. So now if I add it directly now, it would automatically do what? It would update pyproject.tml. So let me do this and let us run this. You can see it has updated pyproject.tml. So it's now trying to install everything and then make it work. Do you understand? So it will do that. So let's just see our next steps. While it is working, let's see our next steps and see what we have to do. So now our project becomes backend, app, models, training, utils, tests, main.py, project.tml, UV So now test 4. Now let's try to get our data set before we come back. Now, I recommend Plant Village because it is clean, balanced, and widely used for benchmarking. You can also extend the project later with cassava datasets, prime datasets, um, Plant Village, additional datasets, cassava village, African datasets, Zindi. Now, okay, let's try to see how we can get this Plant Village dataset. Data will now contain Plant Village, train, valid tests. Let's see Plant Village datasets. Let me see how we can get it. It's on GitHub, it's also on Kaggle. Let me check. I'll check different sources to see which one makes sense, and then I can see this one to use. It is still working. This is still working under the background. It's still working. It's going to take some while to work. So while doing that, let's just try to do what? Let's try to get our data sets. Oh, shouldn't spend a lot of time here. Why is this taking time? Okay, plant village data sets. So we have the raw data sets. Oh, we can even use it directly. Pip install datasets. We can use it using Hugging Face directly rather than disturbing ourselves. We can use it directly using Hugging Face rather than raw, color, grayscale, segmented. Let's go back. Now we have TensorFlow. If we don't have to install it before using it, I think we can actually use it directly. Now let's see what this person is saying and how they used it. The person is saying it's an open review and this one said please this will introduce in the paper blah blah blah. Recommended using recommended usage bar Hugging Face. We could use it via Hugging Face and we say pip install datasets from datasets import load datasets. Now from load datasets we say dataset equals to load dataset Mohanty Planty Village and color for more details of configuration. Usage. The code base was written in Python 2 environment. How many years has this repo been? 10 years ago. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is way, way, way. This is way, way, way back, 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 back. It has been old. So I'm not so sure. Maybe I'll just use it directly from G. But if you get data, we should see color grayscale segmented. You should see test validation and some other things. Let me see what this guy is saying. We should see train, test, and validate. Okay. I think I would want to move. Okay, cargo. We have cargo. We have cargo one here. Why have I not checked this cargo one? What does cargo plant village has? What does it has? Perhaps we'll be working much more with the one that says cargo. That's the project. Let me expand this so that I can see much more. Three points. No, where is the card? Let me see the codes that people have written on it. What does the code look like? Before I download it. What does that code look like? So I can see. You can learn from people's code actually. It's nothing bad to learn from people's code, but these codes they are old, 7 years old. That's and we are here in 2026 trying to do this. I hope you guys are still with me. I hope people are still with me. We're trying to see how we can get data sets and use the perfect data set together. Oh my god, where is this guy? Just show me the demo, man. By the way, you have some things running in the background. Maybe I will should I just take my guess and download this guy because I think quite a number of people have used this before and it does make sense from what I see here. It's gotten from the Mohanty GitHub repo. Let me see what is on Mohanty GitHub repo. Is it my network? Okay. Mohanty GitHub repo. Plant village dataset. Okay, that's what our VS Code is saying. VS Code is still working. It's still working. It is not even done yet. It is still doing a number of stuffs. It is still doing a number of stuffs in the background. You can see. So let's just wait for it to work. And then when it is done, we'll come back to it. So that we don't just wait while it's working. So let's see what this guy is saying. That girl cloned. He cloned this. She cloned the data set. That girl cloned this guy. Um, I think I'll just work with getting it directly from Git from Hugging Face. I'll say pip install dataset. I think this is what I would use. I think I would use this aspect. I think I would use this aspect. I will just give it to my ear and say, let's use this. Let's use this. So getting it via Hugging Face rather than trying to work with it. Try to download it directly. So here's my AI here. You can see now I've opened a lot of unnecessary, a lot of what I say unnecessary. Okay, import, input. Why are they hiding that? Exploration matrix. Okay, I'll just work with that using that. So now data exploration. Now I have to go and explore the data in some other places. Data exploration, reprocessing, feature engineering, you have to do it. Now transfer learning, CNN, evaluation, explainability, quite confused. Endpoint. So first we have to like train a model to understand. Once we get our data sets, we have to train it to understand what? To understand the data set and be able to like predict with it. So I'll just get data sets and try to put it inside of what our data sets and move on from there. So let me see what this guy is doing. This guy is doing. This guy is not done yet. This is installing quite 42 of 63. Now let's go to our data. Let's go to our data. Codex. Okay, now I'm switching to like I'm switching to us using codex. So codex is like the IDE editor for AI IDE for ChatGPT. Claude Code is from Anthropic. That's want us to get at least when we get data sets, we can say, yeah, we can take a break for today or perhaps. Okay, let's know this. Okay, let me say project architecture. Let me give my AI project architecture, the tech stack that we are using, and the deployment. No, no, no. Calm down, calm down. Where is it running into now? My mouse has gone rogue. So let me copy it. Let me give it the project architecture. Based on that, you can pass some other things to it. So my UV is still open. Um, so I would say so regarding this project, I am on the phase two, step two, getting the data. Step two, getting the data. I have an error here already. I have an error here. It didn't work. I will try to debug it and make it work later. Getting the data. I want to use this, this sample to get the data. Now paste what I got from installing from what? From Hugging Face. So that's what we want to use. Recommended Hugging Face. Help with that. With that. Let the code and the data sets placed in their correct directories. That means you should not put it in where we're not supposed to have it, directories. So yeah, I think I will run this. I will run this. It runs on its own. Now I'm trying to find a solution to what? To this guy. So I'll copy this guy out. Yeah, am I using that? It's not congested. I think I'm using this one. It's not congested. I'll paste here. I want to know the error and what to fix the error. We have not even moved. We are just trying to set up our dependencies and then we are getting this error. What's that? So I think my Python is, so I think I will have to reduce my Python. Let's say Python 3.14 is quite too much. Let me reduce my Python. Okay. Let's say we should use Python 3.10 or 3.11. So Python 3.11. Okay, let's say use Python 3.11 and then use UV add. So let me come back here. Where's my project here? Now I'll come back and say requires Python 3.10. I would save this. Python 3.10. What else are the recommendations? UV add. That's one of the recommendations that I should work more on. Python 3.10. So this is let me give it my read requirement.txt. This is my requirement.txt. My requirements.txt. We are trying to do project that will take days in some hours. That's why. But then this is normal process. And then we are not like lagging behind. So I think changing this to Python 3.10 will be okay. And then running. So let's just wait for this output. And now let's see what this guy is doing. So this guy has started working. You can see this guy has started working. He's still working. He say, have got enough to make this clean. I'm adding a reusable downloader backend script, making UV aware of datasets. So it's now adding a script. It's adding scripts to this thing now. So it's adding a script that will download that word for what that data set for us. And it's the one that is writing this code. I'm not the one that wrote it. It's wrote it. So downloader is now placed next to data raw plant village correctly without pulling the whole data sets during verification. So now it's going to put it. We now have data here. Data has not, we've not gotten our data by the way. So it now puts it there and run it. Yes. So get out, Mr. Man. Okay, let's check what this guy has written. Recommendation: use Python 3.11. Best compatibility for all these. Recommendation: install Python 3.11. Delete the current environment. Let me delete the current environment using this. Let me delete the current environment. Let me delete it. Okay, I think that should have been removed. So um, UV. I'll not say UV pip install requirement. No, I will use UV add. Rather than UV pip install, I'll say UV add. So UV add requirement.txt. Let's see what it does again. Let's see what it does again. This one is even trying to run UV lock. Have you gotten any UV lock? This okay. Okay. I think I've run two commands simultaneously now. She's running UV lock. I'm loading this already. This can also run the terminal, so it's using shell to run the terminal already. I hope they don't conflict at the end. So Python version 3.112. Okay, main.py project. And I think maybe I should just. I feel like stopping this, by the way. I feel like stopping this. Let's wait for this to complete. Once this is complete, we then move on. So this is working on its own. Now, is our data set? You've not even gotten our data set. I've not gotten data set. So once the data set is gotten, we then move on. We move on to the next aspect, which is exploring data sets. Another aspect would be what would be data exploration. So we explore our data sets after we process it. After preprocessing, we'll do feature engineering and then we'll try to do transfer learning. We'll try to do transfer learning on it. So okay, I think this is taking some while. If we run Python 3.1 to Python version, okay, do that. Okay, I have Python 10 on my PC, I have Python 11 on my PC, I have Python 3.14 on my PC, but then not Python 3.12. But this is trying to use Python 3.12, so 12, so it wants to see if it can fetch it and then run it. I think we just have to understand what we are doing so far. Please, do you all get Mr. Ayomide, Mr. Ladimeji, Mr. Adesomi? Please, do you understand what we are trying to do? I am.
Yes.
What do you say?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, I could have worked on this and just present it for us, but no, I want us to see the whole process by ourselves so that we don't see that okay, it's very very simple to create everything and then so it takes different process. Okay, while we wait, because by 12 I should even I can't even wait to 12. By 12 I should be out. Oh my god. So I don't need this. I'm removing this. I don't need this. I'll be removing this. So let's see what this guy does. No output. Why no output? Okay. Still working for us. it's helping us debug on its own. It's helping us debug on its own. But then this is going to be using a lot of token. Oh my god. So let's try to study what it wrote here by the way. Let's try to study the code, the Python code that it wrote here. So from future import annotations, import all these guys. Now from dataset import dataset dict. Now image load datasets from pil imports image as pil, all these stuffs. Now the name, the dataset name, the config. Now it's now looking for using a regex pattern to get the naming. And now it is getting labels here. It's trying to get the labels. So could not find the label or class folder in dataset true. Let me use Alt Z here. So one of the things you try to understand the code that is writing for you, because if you don't understand the code, you just be working in abstract. Now label feature. You want to get the label, get label name, get the image, so get the file name. Now export split. Just like 5 different, what do you call it? 5 different functions that was written for us automatically. If I was to write it, it won't be this complex, by the way. It won't be this complex if I am to write it. But then we have to understand what this guy is doing. Passing some arguments. And now the main. So this main function is what encapsulates all of it. So let's say, okay, it's going to load data sets, split count. So it will split it now. It now counts the splits. After splitting count, it will now save them into their different folders. You say this one has this amount, this one has this amount. And now it's getting them from this URL. So this is still working and it's stressing itself, by the way. Don't use 3.12, just use. I know the problem that it might be facing. Using 3.12 is one of the problems that it might be facing. So use 3.11. I have 3.11 on my PC. And why are you not using that? I think UV lock is now working. UV lock is now working. 3.11. I would stop this and I'll let it know what is doing wrong. I'll stop this. I'll let it know what is doing wrong. Use Python 3.11 that is present on the PC on my PC, and based on that install, and based on that initiates and add libraries to UV. Should be more fast. So you can see it's, I think it's entering a loop where it doesn't even know what to do. So I just have to let it know. This is what you should do. Sometimes you have to like correct the AI too. They don't get brain too much like that. They have brain, they assist with a lot, but you have to have the background knowledge to tell them what to do so that they can do it perfectly. Okay, stopping it. As you can see, that's changed this to 3.11. What key files do you change? Yeah, version 3.11. It has started running this. Okay, you can see now it's downloading all what we need for Python 3 using Python 3.11.9. Yep. Let's see how well it works. So our goal now is to get dataset. Once our dataset is here correctly, yeah, we are going to call this class a day. So we've gotten dataset that I want to use for the other steps. And notes, I will also be recording, I would perhaps be recording I'll be recording other aspects, but when I'm recording it, I'll even be doing it on the call, not doing it off the call, off the recording, and now post and now just walking you through it. I'll be doing everything I'm going to bring be recorded so that we can have a lot more experience rather than just coming here and being stalked together here. So I'll record it, I'll send it, to watch it, and you can also ask questions. So I know based on this now, we should all know how to like how we can kickstart our project. So your projects that you have on with you now, you can know how to kickstart them and test and try them. So I've also done 3MTT and then I've done their project. My project then was object detection, real time object detection, which I did and it was successful by the way. So yes, let's see, let's make this work. And when it works successfully, we then move on. Okay, so this recording cannot even be paused. If the recording could be paused, you could just possibly pause it, but we can only stop recording. We cannot pause recording. So we're stuck here together. Yeah. Oops. Okay. If it's taking a while, we just have to wait for it to finish. We can't skip the process of getting data sets. But that was get data sets. Perhaps I can possibly release you for this class. You can go on, you can go and do some other things. And yeah, maybe later we then converge together and then we move on. So for our next class, the class will be ready and then we move on from there. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you. And please, we don't even know your name, sir.
Yeah. Sorry. I just got into the. My name is Lawal Abdulaziz. You can call me Lawal, you
Lawal.
can call me Abdulaziz.
Okay,
Right.
Mr. Lawal. All right. Thank
Abdulaziz.
you. Lawal Abdulaziz.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Good to have you.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys.
All
So
right.
next session we'll just start from
So
the
when are
data
we when
sets.
are we
Or
meeting?
perhaps I'm thinking of doing a recording rather than bringing us here. Doing a recording and sending it to you
Okay.
guys.
All right. Thank you.
I think that would be much more better. So I can
That'll be
I have some other things to do too. So
okay. All
just
right. Thank you.
everybody can be able to see it. I think you understood too. So please start your project as soon as possible. I think you guys are submitting on the first. So let's start something.
Yeah.
And when you're stuck, let me know. I'll be here to help. Have a nice day by the way. So everyone have a nice
You have a nice day.